Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. My name is Nur Aisha binti Muhammad Zain. My metric number is 280870. So for today, I'm going to explain about the objective and also the reason why we choose these three banks for our report. So the objective is comparing the performance between these three banks. Since we analysed AmBank in our first report, we decided to choose another two commercial banks, which are Public Bank and also Maybank. The reason why we choose Public Bank is because Public Bank is the third largest banking group in Malaysia, and also because of their way in managing and operate their bank in order to meet their investor and also clients' need. The reason why we choose Maybank is because Maybank is number one preferred bank in Malaysia, and also because of that they have the strong financial potential comparing to other bank, and also because they have the highest capital. Thus, in order to completely understand how these three banks manage their financial, we compare the 7 key ratio probability to analyze how well this bank financial health from many aspects.
Next is ownership structure for three banks: AmBank, Public Bank, and Maybank. AmBank, the largest individual stakeholders in Australia, ANZ Group, which is owned 21.6% from the AmBank. M Corporation owned 11.8%. Actually, the previous M Corporation stake was 32.9%, but after Tan Sri Azman, who was stepped down as the chairman on 2019 and sold 300 million shares to ANZ Group, then followed by EPF, the third largest shareholder with 9.7%, and PNB with 8.8%, and others is 48.1%. This is domestic top of shareholder by Maybank. The largest shareholder is Amanah Saham Bumi Putra, 34.87%. The second largest is Citigroup Nominees Tempatan EPF Board, 12.95%, and the third largest is Pemodalan Nasional Berhad, 7.27%, Kumpulan Wang Persaraan, 4.59%, Amanah Saham Malaysia Wawasan, 2.52%, Amanah Saham Malaysia 1.68%. Next is Public Bank. Institution was the largest share, which is 38.7%, followed by General Public 36.1%, Private Companies 22.8%, Employee Share Scheme 1.1%, Individual Insider 0.8%, and Government 0.5%.
Assalamualaikum and hello Dr. Sam and everyone. My name is Hayati Nazia. My metric number is 277662. Return on equity or ROE is used to measure the ability of a company to gain profits from its shareholders' investment in the company. Well, the higher the ROE, the more likely shareholders want to invest. As you can see, throughout 5 years, Public Bank constantly recorded the highest ROE. Meanwhile, AmBank shows the lowest ROE in 2016 and 17, whereas Maybank recorded the lowest ROE in 2018 and 19. Surprisingly, both of them, Maybank and AmBank, ranked the same low value of ROE in 2020. In terms of average of ROE in the past 5 years, Public Bank can be said is the winner of the ROE, as it holds the highest value, which is 13.1%. This result shows that Public Bank can generate 13 ringgit of net income from every 1 ringgit of common shareholders' equity. Comparative to AmBank and Maybank, the bank that ranked the lowest is AmBank, as it managed to give results only 9.2% of ROE, while Maybank is 10.18%. Here, we can simply compare. 30 ringgit is more than 9 and 10 ringgit, right? So that's why we can conclude Public Bank has greater ability compared to AmBank and Maybank to generate profits from its equity and be able to give higher return to their shareholders from 2016 to 2020. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ninur Shaila Izwani binti Syekh Abdullah, and my metric number is 280532. Now I will continue this presentation with ROA, which is a return on asset. Return on asset is a profitability ratio that provides how much profit a company is able to generate from its asset. So here is the graph For comparison, ROA between AmBank, Maybank and public banks started from 2016 until 2020. So based on the graph, AmBank has the highest ROA value for each year compared to Maybank and public bank. In 2016, AmBank had a ROA value of 6.08% but will decline by 2017. However, its value increased until 2019 and that is the highest ROA achievement, which is 11.21%. The lowest ROA was held by Maybank, which is 1.29% in 2016 and 1.2% in 2017. In the following year, from 2018 to 2020, Maybank has experienced an increase in ROA, and then the public bank has held the ROA lowest value compared to other banks. A lower ROA indicates that the bank are not able to make maximum use of its asset for getting more profit. So here it can be concluded that AmBank is the most efficient because AmBank has the highest ROA value from 2016 to 2020. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Good day to Dr. Anyone. My name is Hong Mei Hua, matrix number 27743. Now I will continue to present with the net interest margin. The profitability and efficiency of a bank investment are measured by the net interest margin. According to the graph shows on this slide, as you can see, the trend display that Maybank and public bank has fluctuating trends of net interest margin over the 5 years. At the same time, AmBank experienced an upward trend of net interest margin. Concerning the average net interest margin during these 5 years, public bank shows the recorded highest net interest margin at 1.81% compared with other banks. This result indicates that public bank is earning more profit 1.81% from receiving interest than paying interest. In contrast, AmBank ranked the lowest average net interest margin at negative 0.28%. Moreover, Maybank ranked second at 1.71%. Therefore, we can conclude that public bank is more efficient in generating income from the resources and well investing. That's all for me. Thank you.
Good day to Doctor. I'm Goh Ping, metric number 277438. Net interest margin can measure the ability of a bank to generate enough total non-interest income to cover its total non-interest expenses. Referring to the graph, we know that AmBank had reached the highest net non-interest margin, and net non-interest margin for AmBank are retained positive value for 5 consecutive years compared to 2 other banks. Public bank has reached the lowest net non-interest margin for 5 consecutive years, and the net non-interest margin for public bank are retained negative value for 5 consecutive years. In the average perspective, AmBank record the highest net average of net non-interest margin, which was 8.94% compared to Maybank 0.27% and public bank negative 0.29%. In short, AmBank has the best control of their net non-interest margin than the other 2 banks because AmBank was able to generate enough total non-interest income to cover its total non-interest expenses. That's all for me, and I will pass to the next presenter.
My name is Lim Shi Yan and I'm a metric 277790. I'm responsible for the product net operating margin. Net operating margin measures a company profitability by determining how much remain of each ringgit Malaysia of revenue received after certain expenses are paid. From the graph, you can know that AmBank have the highest net operating margin compared to Maybank and public bank for 5 consecutive years. This is because AmBank has the lowest total operating expense compared to another 2 banks. We also can know that public bank had the lowest net operating margin compared to another 2 banks for 4 years. This is because net operating income of public bank was lower than net operating income for Maybank. And although the net operating income of AmBank was low and the total asset was low too, but the total asset of public bank was higher compared to AmBank. It means that public bank will have low in net operating income and high in total asset. These 2 elements cause a lower net operating margin because it was the element used to calculate the net operating margin. In the aspect of average net operating margin, AmBank recorded the highest average, which was 9.16%. It means that AmBank has generated more profit on its asset compared to Maybank and public bank. And AmBank also recorded a strong and profitable bank among the 3 banks.
Good afternoon to Doctor. My name is Tan Seng Wei and my matrix number is 277693. And now I will present about EPS, earning per share. So what is EPS? If you go through the EPS formula, it means that how many profits or how many income of one shares companies can create. And this is a graph and it shows that the AmBank, Maybank, public banks EPS from 2016 to 2020. From this graph, we can easily know that the highest EPS company from 2016 to 2020 is Public Bank, and the lowest EPS company is AmBank. It actually represents the Public Bank got higher income and only got few shares, so the Public Bank good at creating profit. Okay, next. Okay, this table shows the data of these three banks' EPS. And if we go through this table, public banks got higher average EPS. Can say that one share of public bank can generate 1.16 ringgit Malaysian income. So it making profit quite high. But for AmBank, it got fewer average EPS among these three banks. Okay, it can only generate 2.8 cents for one share of AmBank. Is lower than other two banks. Okay, in conclusion, public bank shares are more profitable than other two banks. That's all to me. I'll pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day. I'm Siti Nur Farahan with the Jasmine metric number 271223. Okay, now I will continue our presentation with my part, which is the comparison of earnings spread between AmBank, Maybank and Public Bank from 2016 to 2020. Okay, overall from 2016 to 2020, AmBank has recorded the lowest percentage of earnings spread in 2019, which is negative 220.49%. This is because the total interest-bearing liability has reached extremely the lowest value, while interest expenses is almost the same as the previous year. Therefore, a decrease in total interest-bearing liability makes the earnings spread also decrease. However, Public Bank recorded the highest percentage of earnings spread in 2017, which is 1.63%, due to the highest value in interest income as well as the highest value in total earning assets. Hence, the increase in total earning assets makes the percentage of earnings spread become increased. In conclusion, we know that Public Bank recorded the highest percentage of earnings spread because of the highest average compared to AmBank and Maybank, while AmBank recorded the lowest percentage of earnings spread because of the lowest average from 2016 to 2020.
In conclusion, we generate a few ratios for Maybank, Public Bank and AmBank over 5 years periods from 2016 until 2020 to evaluate each bank's performance and determine if it was good or bad in each year. For the return on equity or ROE ratio, Public Bank has a good performance between those 5 years. For the net interest margin, earnings per share and earnings per ratio, Public Bank also got the highest rank among Maybank and AmBank. This is because a public bank has a good management with a high net interest income and margin, such as future profitability. However, Maybank got the lowest rank for all the ratio because of not performing well either on their asset or earning money. Therefore, there are lots of ways that bank can increase their profit. Firstly, the bank can increase their ability to adapt to market demand and plan for the future on a regular basis. So from that, banks will confront a new for the future, such as competition from other banks, new technology, the economic crisis, and change in client demand. Thus, the banks need to improve their service to deal with a crisis economy that may harass to the bank to increase their profit. In addition, banks also need to improve their technology. Nowadays, mostly all the transactions are using the technology. So, if the bank can improve their technology, such as in online banking, it will make easier for customers to using that service.